In terms of preparedness, it's really important that you don't wait, that you take certain basic steps in order to be prepared. One of the analogies that I often use during the first Trump administration, and that is not to make light of the fires that took place in Los Angeles earlier this year, but is that we really do feel like firefighters. And sometimes these enforcement policies can be just as destructive in terms of separating families and destroying homes. And so if you know that there is a fire happening, please do not wait until to prepare for evacuation. There are things that you can do to prepare yourselves and to prepare your family. First and foremost, make sure you have all of your documents organized in a secure place where someone else knows where they are. Things like birth certificates, marriage certificates, passports, identification. If you have a child with special needs, their prescriptions, their medical records, their evaluations, important documents that someone else, in the event that they have to care for your children, would have access to. Second, you should obtain a power of attorney. A power of attorney is something that gives another individual the ability to perform business on your behalf. It is also a mechanism that you can use to give someone temporary emergency custody of your child. So in the event that you're detained, it is very difficult to get a power of attorney when you're in custody. Powers of attorney need to be notarized, and it is very difficult sometimes for a notary to be able to have access to get those documents notarized once you're in detention. So a power of attorney would allow someone, for example, to have access to your funds in your bank, or to close a bank account in the event that you are deported, to sell vehicles, to close your apartment, whatever it is that you needed to have done and you're unable to do. Because let's face it, in the event that someone is apprehended, detained, and deported, the government doesn't give you an opportunity to basically leave, get out on bond, to be able to close up shop, to be able to take care of your personal business. So you need to make sure that someone else can do that for you. Thirdly, please make sure that you have identification, that you have a government issued ID, whether it's a foreign government ID like a passport or a consular ID card, both for yourself and for your children. Because in the event you are stopped by ICE, they can ask you for ID, and there's no reason not to show them your ID as long as it's, a government issued ID. It is better to show them a passport or a consular ID card, a driver's license, than it would be, say, to show them employment authorization card. But having some sort of ID is really critical, and it's better than having no ID at all. The reason for that is some people say, well, if I show them my, foreign government passport, if I show them my consular ID, then they're somehow going to know that I don't have papers in the United States. And that is not the case. In fact, there are many people that have not just one or two citizenships, but it can be 3, 4, or 5. So many of us have dual citizenship. So simply by showing identification of a foreign country is not sufficient for them to assume or presume that you do not have legal status. Next, also, please be sure, if you have minor children, that you've had a conversation with somebody, someone in your family, a trusted family friend, that in the event that you're apprehended, that they would be willing to assume responsibility in making their educational and medical decisions for them. You want to make sure that you have proper documentation, whether it's a power of attorney. Here in the state of California, we have an affidavit of a authorized caregiver that you can obtain. It is a document that is available online. We'll have it available on our website, the link to where you can download or print that document. Make sure you're using an English version of that document. And what that document will allow is that individual to be able to present it to a doctor, to a school, in the event that you are apprehended or detained. Now, that document is something that you're going to complete and you can print out, but you're not going to keep it, right? The idea is that you've got to give it to someone that you entrust your children to, and that they will then hold on to it. They will not sign it because it's only valid for 1 year. Now, in order to use that caregiver's document, it needs to be a family member. Now, it's quite an extensive list of family members that are included. It could be aunts, cousins, uncles, great aunt, great uncles, their spouses, grandparents, adult children that you may have. So if you have family, please make sure that you use that caregiver's affidavit to protect your children. And on a very, very basic level, please make sure that you have as many people as possible listed as an emergency contact with the school. The last thing you want to have happen is that no one comes to pick up your child and the school is thereby required to call social services. And during the first Trump administration, we had a lot of children that we had difficulty trying to help get out of the foster care system when a parent is not available to care for them. So really critical to do.